Welcome to Trauma and Transcendence, where healing meets awakening. I'm Amanda M. Dodd, your guide on this transformative journey. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Let's transcend together. Hello, hello, soulful seekers. Welcome back to Trauma and Transcendence. I've got another brand new guest for you. Today, we have the lovely Heather Hink. This lady is the reason that I began to explore SCHH and why you've met Laura Whitworth. But let's hear from Heather. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so pleased to have you here today and to have this time to be able to explore and to play.
Oh, I love this. Thank you so much for having me.
So let's learn a little bit about you. What got you into this journey right up to where you are now?
Oh, goodness. That's a lot. So,
Right.
I'm a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner, quantum healer. I started my journey in, I guess it was 2020. I started my hypnosis journey and started doing past life regression. I did beyond quantum healing hypnosis. And from there, it seems like every year my work has just expanded and expanded, from doing entity clearing and release in the past life in the hypnosis sessions to moving into some more galactic type healing work with my starship healing
Yeah.
sessions. And then also bringing in a lot of channeled messages from guides and angels, um, and just sort of growing with all of these new and amazing things that sort of come into my life. And um, I love doing those things and then being able to bring them out into the public so that I can help them raise their awareness as to what's out there. So it's been a fun and interesting journey for me.
I bet. What was
Yeah.
the catalyst, if you don't mind sharing, that kicked that off? Because for a lot of people, hypnosis already is usually a last resort. They've tried everything else before they find us. And then you went right to the heart of the Dolores Cannon work.
Yeah, I feel like I was guided to do that work. I went through my spiritual awakening, as we call it, in 2017 when everything sort of shifted in my life. And it pushed me down this road of understanding healing, different modalities of healing. I discovered the quantum healing hypnosis sessions online, and I found some practitioners that I absolutely loved, and I became obsessed with their work. So I watched everything. I binge watched all of the sessions. And then one day from my guidance, it came in loud and clear that you can do this. And
Mhm.
that kind of pushed me to going and getting the course, diving in, and then I took off with it.
Oh, I love that. Just a
Yeah.
natural kind of flow right around that timing. That was really
Yeah.
important for everybody.
Yeah.
So it sounded like right before COVID was when you started to feel that pull to go in that new direction.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was an interesting time, wasn't it?
Yes. What were the hallmark things that you started seeing that helped you to understand that you were going through a spiritual awakening?
Well, it first started with everything, just sort of crumbling. All of my solid foundations began to fall apart. And that sort of pushed me to going within, like, what is happening? Why is all this? Am I being punished by the universe or what's happening? And as I went deeper and deeper and I started meditating, that began my connection with the angels. I began to channel.
Yeah.
At the time, I knew nothing about angels or channeling. I was just simply trying to get myself in a good place and work on my own healing. But they came in so strongly. It was messages everywhere saying, "We're here, we can communicate with you, and everything's going to be okay. This is
Yeah.
all happening for a
I
greater
have a personal
purpose."
theory.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, we had a little bit of lag there.
a little
I've got a
little
personal
glitch.
theory. Did you have a moment of surrender where you asked for help?
Oh, I think I was begging for help. But at the time,
Yeah.
it was very much just, prayer
Hmm.
and asking Jesus for help and God
Yeah.
and what is happening here. And I think in that I began to communicate with a higher source.
Mm.
Um, and I was asking for help daily. And then it started to open and expand very quickly.
That is always the starter point, and that is actually
Yeah.
very similar for me as well. So I remember things from childhood, but then later on, I was not heading in the direction I needed to, and so I actually started to seek things outside myself. I began Reiki, and not long after, came to know angels, and they kind of kicked it off. So it's fun that we've
Mm,
got that in common, that they started
absolutely.
these journeys.
Yeah, I think they're the first to come in because that's something that we can accept
Mm-hmm.
most easily is the angels.
Yes.
Eventually, I connected with my galactic guides and higher
Yeah.
guides, which, not everyone is aware of. I think if
Mm-hmm.
they would have come in first, I would have been like, I'm
Right.
not ready.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
sorry. I'm losing my mind. So the angels sort
Absolutely.
of slid in and said, we're
Yeah.
more on your level.
They really are the gentle introduction. I have to 100% agree, because at one point I did have a moment where I encountered two of my past lives that were parallel, and I was kind of semi lucid waking up, and I saw one on either side. And I'm looking, this one's a lion and that one's a blue alien. What did I eat last night?
Right, right. It's confusing. It's exciting, but then you sort of go through periods where can this be real? Is it
Yeah.
possible? And so you're kind of for a while. It took me a while. So my guides, it was my Pleiadian team, and I don't know how much your audience knows about their galactic guides. I may bring some of that,
Dive in. Let's
some
go
of
ahead
that
and have fun,
information.
and wherever you feel called to go, let's go, and just explain what you feel you need to along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So after the angels sort of came in, then I started seeing Pleiadians everywhere, and I thought, what the heck is a Pleiadian? But they were like the angels; they were everywhere, and they were trying to get my attention. So the way that I see it through this work that we do as hypnotherapists and in the quantum realm, you begin to understand that you're greater than just this human that you think you are. You are a soul. And as a soul, you are expansive. And, if you do past life regression, then you'll understand that you have more than just one lifetime. It's not just this one that you're in now. But as you sort of expand your consciousness, you sort of open up to more than just this physical reality that you're in. You begin to look outside like it's bigger. Then you realize also that we have a lot of galactic beings and star races out there. We can't quite see them because we're in a different dimensional space than they are. So they exist sort of outside of this space. But your soul gets to choose to incarnate as these different beings. And so when this started pouring in for me again, it really took me a good minute because I thought, I've lost my mind. Like, what is happening here? But I
Yeah.
kept being guided to work with different energy healers or different practitioners or different sessions. And every single one, time after time, kept saying, you're Pleiadian, you're Pleiadian, you're Pleiadian. And so that pushed me to start exploring who are they? What does that mean? That was a fun adventure,
Yeah,
a wild ride.
it sounded like almost how many times do you need to hear it? We'll set it all up for you so that you can
They
until you're
did.
ready to receive it. Yeah.
They did. My last one, I had an Akashic Records reading with Debbie Solaris. Are you
Mm.
familiar with her?
I am. I took her GART class. Absolutely love it.
Her
Yeah.
Akashic class.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
the
she's
galactic one.
amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
I love
is.
that.
Yeah.
I think she was in 2019. I think it was January 2019 because it was 2018 was the year of the angels and then into the galactic beings. And 2019, I booked a session with her. And I remember
Wow.
she answered the phone and she said, it must be my Pleiadian day because you're the second one today before I had even said a word.
Yeah.
So that was kind of when I said, okay, okay, all right, I'm just going to have to accept this and then figure out the rest.
Yep, there's another moment of
Yeah,
surrender. That's right. Of
yeah, it
okay,
really
I
is.
yield. Show me.
Yeah, yeah. How about you? Have you dove into your galactic origins or does that?
I have. It has been a weird journey. I'm
Yeah,
slowly going to unhash it on this podcast. One of the things I do, other than have guests, is slowly unveil the stages of things. I call it origins of a medium. And I talked
yes,
so far about what that was like and how do I identify it and the things that happened along the way. And I'm not quite there yet, but I
not
will be
quite there.
unfolding into it.
No worries. I'll be looking
Yeah.
forward to hearing that.
I will give some spoilers. So I do know that I've got a lot of Lyran past lives,
Nice.
but also the Irma region. I got to experience that. Have you heard of Elizabeth Evans? She
No,
does
I haven't.
Katesh healing. Beautiful practitioner. She actually
Yeah.
gave me an SCHH session, and we dove further into that to release some of that grief that I'm still
Yeah.
holding from all of the
Yes.
Lyran Draco wars.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
I have
heavy.
that. I
Yeah.
have a lot of Arcturian influence. I have a tiny bit of
Nice.
Pleiadian, not as
Hmm.
much, tiny, tiny bit.
Yeah.
The one that surprised me was Andromedan, and I'm just like, what?
Oh, I love that. We love our
Yeah.
Andromedans. Yeah, they're so beautiful and
You know,
so happy, so joyful.
when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, well, this makes a whole bunch more sense now.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a powerful thing to look into, and so that's something
Hmm.
that you do is you help people explore it for themselves. And I
Yes.
love that. I find like that's so much richer than, not that I don't love Akashic readings, I do them, I love them,
Yeah.
but I feel like the value really is more in experiencing for ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's been, I think, out of the work that I do, my most favorite are we have messages from your guides and angels sessions. Um, and I work with my sweet friend Emily, who is the channel. We work together to bring forward messages from our clients' higher galactic guides and their angel teams.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love is at the beginning of the session, we ask who is here to support our client and bring through their messages. That's my favorite part because we get to hear all of the star groups that show up. And we have our standard groups like Lyrans and Pleiadians and Arcturians and our Andromedans that are always there, Syrians. Um, but I've collected, I want to say, probably 60 to 70 different groups that have
Wow.
come forward and showed up. They don't always have a name because they don't have names like we have
Mm-hmm.
names here on Earth. It's more of a frequency or a vibration.
Are they
So
like
they
a
try to
collective?
yeah, they try to
Yeah.
find something that they can just give the human, or they'll just describe how they look and, just a little bit of information. I love it. We just had a new group come in for a client yesterday in a messages session, and it was so precious. I say precious, but they didn't even realize, they said, we didn't even realize that we could do this and connect in this way with our star seed, our person,
Yeah.
and they were almost a little shy to try to come through Emily to channel through to bring their
Hmm.
messages, but they did amazing. And the other groups were supporting them. So you had the Pleiadians and the
Yeah.
Arcturians and the angels who were just supporting them and encouraging them and saying, you can do it. And they
Mm-hmm.
brought through their messages. And the interesting thing is when they're channeling through like that, it's not just about the words that they're bringing through or the question that they're answering, but they are also bringing through their home frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And when the client listens back to that, it reconnects them to home. It sort of activates them. And so they can have that remembrance of who they are that will
Yeah.
help them on their journey.
You know, that's such a key point because when so many people are going through awakening, the first thing that happens is they feel that isolation, they feel that
Yeah.
loneliness. And so to have that moment of reconnection and then catharsis is just so palpable and so powerful and
Yeah.
it carries forward. And I love that. Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite instance where that happened, or maybe even a personal one that you'd like to share?
Um, Oh gosh, I think it's just, I'm so joyful when I get the responses back from the clients. And we've been able to bring through information that they have been wondering about forever, things that
Mm-hmm.
they haven't been able to figure out, especially because so many people feel disconnected from Earth or they feel like I don't belong here or there's something wrong with me. And their guides, I'm all tingly right now, their guides will come in and say it's because you're not from Earth. Your
Mm-hmm.
soul is more connected to your galactic origins, and this Earth, you're just here for a mission right now. So the way that Earth operates with the heaviness and the lower emotions and sort of the way we do things is not, it doesn't vibe, it doesn't resonate with you, because most of these star seeds come from places where there's nothing but love and peace and pure harmony. And so they
Mm-hmm.
get down here with all the restrictions and the constrictions and the challenges, and it's almost like you start to short circuit.
Yeah.
And then you think something's wrong with you, and you really struggle through your life because you don't connect or fit in
Mm.
with others. So to bring through those messages and for them to hear from their star families that it's okay, you've done nothing wrong, it's just this is not your resonant planets.
Yeah.
It's
And I think
it's
it's
so
more than that too. Like it's
yeah.
not just connecting them, but also it's opening a connection and showing them how to maintain it. I recently had someone who
Yeah.
reconnected to their constellation back in Hadar, the Hadarians,
Wow.
which are a very beautiful, you probably know, they're a very really soft, gentle, very open,
Um,
loving, very telepathic kind of starseed. And
yeah.
that moment for her was just so palpable. The tears and the love just kind of washed over her, and I just let her sit in that for a moment. But the key message
Mm,
was, "Hey, you don't have to do this, once every couple of years. Come back and see us tomorrow. We want to fill you with love every
right.
day." Yeah,
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, because that is a message that we get over and over and over.
yeah,
Most people don't yet have an awareness that they have a team around them. You have your angel
yeah,
team, you have your guardian angel that's always there, you have your galactic star family, and they can only, well, they can't really interfere in your life. You have free
right,
will, but they're there and they will tell you, you have to ask us. You have to invite us into your life. You have to ask us for help. And once you do, we can better support you on your journey.
yeah,
So ask, even if you're not to where you fully believe, you're like, I don't know if I believe in all of that. Start with your angels. Ask your
hmm,
higher self, your higher consciousness to assist you, but you have
yeah.
to invite that in.
It's the same with our loved ones in spirit.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
how connection started for me growing up. Was I had an old mummy who passed when I was 6 months old, and I was taught to communicate with her and to ask her. And the more that we open that door, we ask for that support, the more they have room to arrive and to arrange beautiful little miracles on the other side for us.
Absolutely.
But it's about asking and opening that door. Yeah,
Yeah. And then it just helps you. It's like to know that you have that support. You're not doing this alone. You have a massive
yeah,
team, and they're all just sort of standing there. They will interfere. Like if you're going off a cliff and it's not your time to exit this life, they will
yeah.
help you. They will help you. They will jump in and help you. But the regular things, they're going to allow you to try to figure it out yourself until you say,
Mhm.
"I need some help, please."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so many things in there to play with and to touch on.
Yeah.
Unbelievably, just so much. And so on this journey, you've built up all kinds of communities, resources. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so the Quantum Soul Portal is where I put the most of my focus. This is a community of souls who have that greater awareness of who they are. It's people who are at different levels of their awakening journey. Inside the portal, we do a lot of monthly healing sessions. So I know your podcast is a lot about trauma and releasing trauma, and that is so important on your journey of awakening and your journey of ascension, letting go of all of that heavy density that you've been carrying throughout your life, because it keeps us stuck in the lower dimensions. And right now, we're moving through a process where we are working to align with the higher dimensions so that we can have that access with our guides and angels in more of a physical way. So in the portal, we do lots of different types of sessions, from guided quantum meditations, what I've coined my starship healing sessions, which we do actually work with the technologies of a starship sometimes.
Yeah. So dive
You want
into
me
that
to?
a little bit more because that's not something we've explored here before.
Right. Yeah, so Starship Healing sort of started coming to me, I would say maybe a year and a half to 2 years ago. And through hypnosis sessions like we do, my guides would pop in at the end for some clients that I was very connected to, and they would say, you can use the starships for healing. And I was like, what are you talking about? At first, I was like, this sounds nutty. But they continued, like always, to guide me to this and then to this. And it started to open up my eyes. So when we go into the quantum realm in a hypnosis session, we are accessing all points in time. And it's literally, you can learn how to go anywhere. You can move your consciousness forwards and backwards. You can go to specific places. You can travel around because you're projecting your consciousness to those different places. So just like we can do in a hypnosis session, we can project our consciousness onto a galactic starship where, and I know this sounds crazy, but we can access the healing technologies that they have there. So it's your light body, it's not your physical body, it doesn't go anywhere, but your light body, your consciousness goes onto the ship and can experience um, different technologies like a crystal healing bed, or we have nature rooms, all sorts of things. But really, what they've told us is it's an expansive place that is typically created based on the needs of the client.
Yeah.
So it's whatever they need. It's not that we're
Mhm.
creating anything, but anything can be created based on what the client needs for healing.
And that's what
And
I was
really,
wondering if it's like a directed, guided thing, or is it, client kind of following along, more client centered?
yeah, it can be both. It can be
Yeah.
both. I can guide you on to the ship and I can have you experience, I can take you in specific rooms, or I can guide you onto the ship and I can say, where do you want to go? And then, just like in a hypnosis session, when we're going into a past life and we're exploring it, they can actually explore a galactic starship. And then we just
Yeah.
guide them the same way we do in a session and say, where is it that you need to go for what it is you need? And a lot of times they'll say, well, there's a door that I see. I'm going to go into the door. And then they start to describe the room. And there's a chair in the middle. And there's a couple of beings standing there. And then we'll explore what do they look like. And then we'll move through that process. And they can feel the energies. They can feel the frequencies coming in. The bodies will get really cold. The bodies will get really hot. They'll have targeted experiences where they can feel those energies coming in. It's quite amazing.
Yeah. And so, what are some of the most just wonderful changes that you've noticed for someone after they've had a Starship session?
Oh, goodness. So much. First of all, when we're doing these sessions, and I work with my partner Sarah to do the Starship sessions, so she's able to channel the messages from the guides and the angel teams, sort of like Emily, but she does it different because Sarah's more on the healing side of it. But what's amazing about those sessions is they come in for healing, but they get answers and information that helps them to get to the root cause of where it all began, why they're experiencing the issues that they're experiencing, and then what they need to work on to do to release. We would love to say that you could come in for one of these sessions and be completely healed. And some people have had miraculous healings, but most of the time you simply need the deeper understanding. Where did that trauma start, or where is that blockage began?
Yeah.
And then what do you need to do to shift, to change it, because it's a change within you that has to happen so that you don't keep creating the same energy within you and the same blockages.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that it's part of a membership so that when people sign up and join, they're going to have multiple different chances to explore different kinds of sessions and experiences and really orient to their soul and their soul's journey.
Yeah, we offer a little bit of everything, and we even have channeling sessions in the portal. The portal members get to ask the questions, so we connect with the higher guides, and they can ask any question. We have so much good information that comes in, and it just helps to support everyone on their journey to know that it is a crazy journey, but everything's okay. And, it helps them to keep working on their healing and their own expansion. There's a little something for everybody. Plus, it's a great community. It is a beautiful community, which is probably my most favorite thing. Everyone in there is so kind and so loving and so supportive. And you can come in there talking about your alien experiences and those types of things, and no one is going to say there's something wrong with you or you're crazy. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to create it, because so many people feel so alone on this journey when they start going through these things and no one else around them is. It's a great supportive community.
As you talk about it, I can kind of see that it's like a constellation of star seeds that are here in the 3D, and so they're getting a taste of home without having to have a big journey to have a bigger experience of being home. So it's more of a accessible kind of community, and of course, it's soft
Absolutely.
and gentle and loving because they're full of star seeds.
Right, right, absolutely, yeah. And it's just so needed at this time, because it's,
Mhm.
that's why we're here. We are here
Yeah.
to help shift the frequency of this planet. And how do you do that? It's the inner healing. It's the deep inner healing that you do on yourself, which changes your frequency and vibration, because you're releasing all the density, all that trauma. You're letting all of the old go, and
Yeah.
you're sort of shifting slowly, some more rapidly, but most people slowly, into the new version. It's like you're constantly upgrading and updating yourself. So
Mhm.
it's lovely to have a space where we can just all do that work together. And I see so many people that have come through, and I see where they were when they came in and where they are now, tapped into their gifts and
Mm.
abilities.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful to watch.
I love that you really follow people through their journey and in that way. And so you actually have a bigger project that you've been working on that's going to be coming out closer to, I think you said, in November.
I think
You've
so.
got
Yeah, fingers crossed.
your book, and it's called Awakening Stories. Tell us more
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, goodness. I'm really excited about this. I was invited to participate in an anthology called Awakening Stories, by Dr. Allison Brown. Her and her husband, Will. Will is a channeler. Dr. Allison Brown is a quantum healer herself. She does BQH and other things. And they wanted to put together a book that had awakening stories. So I think there's 23 different people, and it is a variety of people, from religious people to entertainers, to practitioners. All sorts are sharing their stories, their
Mhm.
journey, what they went through, and what it
Yeah.
looked like. Um, because I think it's so important, as people begin their awakening journey. It's a little scary. You don't know
Yeah.
what to expect. So to read all of these stories and know it's okay. It's okay
Mhm.
if if your journey looks crazy, or if it's just more, easy. It's
Yeah.
all of those stories that help you to navigate your own awakening. So
I
needed.
don't usually give out insights as they hit me, but I'm hearing it really, really loudly that you're going to be doing a whole lot more books like this, but it's also going to be from your community by your volition. I don't know if you got that hit yet, but I'm hearing it and they are very, very loud about it. And it's like, okay, already.
That's starting soon. Yes, I
I don't
have.
usually do that. So they are really like right in my ear about it.
That is, I actually am putting off my one on one sessions. I just did that actually yesterday, because I'm about
Okay.
to start focusing on some books. And it's taking the channeled content that's come in through the messages sessions and the other sessions, and putting them into written context.
Yeah.
There's so many codes and activations that come through when the higher guides are channeling.
Yes.
So they want that out there so that people, when they read it, because I post a lot of it on my YouTube channel, but
Mhm.
they said written word is even a little bit different of a frequency that they can feel when they're reading, and it
And audiobook as
activates.
well, because you have a very powerful voice and you transmit vibration really beautifully. So,
Thank you.
yeah, Audible would be a great place for that, undoubtedly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm going to be very busy.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I love that for
Sorry.
you. No, I have that message loud and clear, but thank you. You're correct.
Oh, it's fun. I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, and I was talking about like the shape of my journey and how I'm feeling like something's shifting and I don't know where it's going. And she said, "Oh, it's divine timing." I'm like, "Yeah, it's always divine timing. It's never
Right.
my choice. I'm always the last one who seems
I
to get the
agree.
choice."
Yeah, when it's your time, it's going to happen. Yeah, I feel like so many of us are going through that right now. I'm so glad you said that because it does, it, even the guides in a recent message said we're about to go through a big shift.
Hmm.
Not the shift, I don't think, but a big shift. And I think so many of us are sort of moving to a new level because I
Hmm.
feel myself stepping sort of out of what I've been doing and moving into a different world. And it's sometimes you have a little trouble letting go of what you were
Yeah.
doing and moving, but it's just about following that inner guidance, isn't it?
I don't even know if it's a full letting go. It feels like to me like a coalescing, like lots of little pieces are going to come together in a very unique way. And it's like, okay,
Yeah,
well, I'm ready.
I love that. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, goodness. So, what are you hoping to dive into, or what are you currently moving through now that has you lit up and excited in some way?
Really, all of it.
Yeah.
There's so many different things that and I have an amazing team that works very closely with me. So they're always dropping. Even today, I went out just to have a walk, and I thought I'm going to try to clear my head and just connect. And it was like this idea and this idea and this idea coming in. So I love that. They keep me very busy. But we just started a new program that is a part of the portal, but it's a little bit separate. It's called Align,
Mm,
and we're going into our second month. We're working with the Syrian Council of Light for this
mm,
program. It's a very specific program for those who hold Syrian frequencies. This
mm,
month, we're going to be activating the codes of abundance, the Syrian codes of abundance, which for me, because I've worked for so long with the galactic teams, the Syrians, I love them so much. They have such a beautiful frequency when it comes through, but they really are all about abundance in every way. It's funny because when they present themselves, it's almost like you can see they're all gods and goddesses, and they're all walking around royally, like everything is handed to them on a silver platter. And
mm.
they've said star seeds who are Syrian here, heavily Syrian, sometimes really struggle on this earth because they have this expectation that everything
Yeah.
should be handed to me on a silver platter.
There's that
So,
memory of I need it and therefore it is. That's
and why
right.
isn't it there? I know. And
Yeah.
it's so funny because I will see the clients and they'll say, yes, I feel that way. And I'm
Yeah.
always, I should have $1 million. Um, but they said that's coded into them. So the Syrian star seeds are here and they hold those codes within them. They just have to be activated because the human doesn't believe that they're worthy or they've had a lot of
Yeah.
programming that there's lack. And so, what we're trying to do is help them reactivate those codes of abundance because once they activate within the human vessel, it sort of spreads out for others to have access to that. And the
Mm.
Syrians are working to bring through those abundance frequencies because they are so needed. They're
I
so
mean, what a better
needed.
way to make a change in a collective than to awaken a whole subset of a community and then have them go out into various communities all over the place sharing that vibration. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's how it works. We bring through, that's what a starseed's role is really, to be able to release all that trauma, all of the density that you're carrying so that you can open up to receive the light that flows in from your star system, from other star systems. Then we anchor that within us. We anchor that down into the earth, and then it sort of spreads out for others to sort of pull into their vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel are some of the benefits for people to really dive in and get to know their galactic heritage?
Wow. Well, I think it's so much fun, but I know that's just me. Some people are still like, what? beings? What do you mean galactic beings? I think it's just so much fun because it helps you to understand more of who you are. Again, we're all so different, and some people don't feel connected. If you don't feel connected, there may be a reason. It also helps you to understand more of your gifts and abilities and what you can do here on Earth. Um, Also, just having that connection with your team is amazing because they're so loving and so supportive, and they're so proud of the work that everyone is here doing. And so many people are going it alone, and it's a struggle, especially when you start going through your journey and you think there's nobody around me that's experiencing this. So to know that you have this amazing team that is
Mm-hmm.
supporting you on your journey, it's so amazing. Yeah, I highly recommend
Yeah.
diving into that if you can, if you feel called.
Yeah, I feel like in my own personal experience, the thing that surprised me most with all of that was those quality and characteristics about myself that I would have deemed a flaw. Um, in childhood, I was diagnosed with ADD, and it comes to find out of no, I'm just multidimensionally open, and that's why I've got
Yes.
access to so many things. But
Yeah.
I would have blamed myself, or I would have, judged that in some way of, oh, it's an inability to have attention. No, that's not it at all.
Yeah.
So learning to have greater acceptance, and it's like, that's the that's where the Andromedan part falls in. Now I get it.
Yeah, that's true. And I've had so many that come in and have those earth labels placed on them or
Yeah.
placed on their children, and they'll come in for a messages session and ask about it. And the guides are like, nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing is wrong. They're just being looked at by earth standards and what has been created. We don't have an awareness that you're a higher being, that you have a higher
Mm.
consciousness. That higher consciousness has to come down and integrate with these heavy, dense physical bodies. And oftentimes there's a mismatch in energetics, or just a mismatch of energetics around you. So it can create those things that we call like ADD and attention,
Mhm.
well, whatever. There's many out there, many labels, but
Yeah.
it's not always accurate.
And it doesn't really speak to the fact that we're meant to be a certain way. We're meant to come and make a different shift. And that takes friction sometimes. That takes
Yeah.
bothering people in the ways that you're different so that they can awaken the ways that maybe they're meant to awaken too. Everything for a
Yeah.
reason, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people here are meant to shake up the system, and they're meant to change it, because that's what we're doing. We're breaking down the old so that we can have a new experience. So it may be exactly what they're here to do. They may be, even though it looks to us like it's misbehavior or it's something's wrong, they may be doing exactly what their soul came here to do, to get people to see things in a different way.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, are you currently reading, or I know you're very busy, but are you reading anything that you're enjoying and want to talk about, or listening or learning something new that's kind of sparking some intrigue?
I wish I had time to read. I have a whole ton of audiobooks
Yeah.
and books, but no, I am not reading anything. I used to be an avid reader. I absolutely loved it,
Yeah.
especially self-help books and then the galactic books. I love anything by Dolores Cannon.
Yeah.
Love anything by Dolores Cannon. She's probably the only one that I would stop and put my headphones in for, but yeah,
Mm,
more time
yeah.
is needed.
Absolutely. It sounds like you are very busy, and I love the way that you're out there just kind of leading the way and showing other people that it can be done. And there's so much that we don't know and have yet to explore.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I feel like when you go through this journey, the best thing that you can do is just to try to have an open mind. Try not to say that's not possible or you can't
Mm,
do that. I think for me, that's what has allowed my career path to open and expand so quickly and to bring
yeah.
so much into my reality is because I'm always like, how can we do this better? Or what if we just did it like this? Or what would happen if? And then we test it and we see, and then you open up to this brand new way of healing or this brand new way of bringing information in. Um, the beings, it's funny because my guides and Emily's guides have said, you have no idea how many galactic groups and races that you've connected with that show up for these sessions, and how grateful they are to be able to connect in this way. Like, they have so much gratitude for this connection that you two are offering them. Um, and if you were closed minded, if you were like, oh, that's not possible, you may not ever move into experiencing that. So just be open minded along your journey, because I promise you, we know a teeny tiny little bit of what's actually out there. Our universe is so expansive, so expansive.
And we have the cheap seats. That's just the reality.
That's
We
a
don't
great
have
way
the
of
big
looking
view.
at it. Right? Yeah, it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. If you can allow it, it will get bigger. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Something you touched on, and I had a thought, and then now I feel like it's fleeting.
Oh
It'll
no.
come back. It'll come
Yeah.
back. It was in terms of turning 40 is no joke on Earth. Honest God, I don't know who
Oh,
designed
and
that, but I'd like a
I'm almost 10
repatterning.
years ahead of you. So
Oh,
I keep saying I keep telling them, take me on the ship and anti-age me. I don't think they have quite yet, but I keep asking.
no, I was on an interesting train of thought and then I just
Yeah.
lost it. But it was around working with our teams and our guides. And as we're opening
Mm-hmm.
to that,
There
the
it
thing
is.
that I hear often is people are afraid to take up their time. They are afraid to ask, whether it's loved ones in spirit or angels or
Mm,
their galactic family for support. They're afraid. There's that concept of, oh, time, space. What if they don't have time for me or they're busy? And it's like, oh, no, we are actually helping them when we allow them in too, because then they get to complete part of their service, part of their acts of
yeah.
service for humanity. What
Yeah,
is your
I hear
thought
this.
on that?
Well, I heard this today from my own team, because sometimes I can get a little whiny down here and why isn't this working? And then I feel bad and I'm like, I'm so sorry that you guys have to listen to me do that. And they're like, we're here to support you. They're like, stop it. We're here to support you. That's our job. That's what we signed up to do. The angels, I've heard it a million times. They're like, please call on us. This is our role. This is why we were created, to support you. If you don't call on us, we can't help you. We can't interfere.
That's
They
right.
say it all the time. I had that when I started SCHH, and Laura teaches when we're doing entity release to work with Archangel Michael. And I struggled at the beginning to call him in, because I thought, it's Archangel Michael and he's got better things to do with his time than help me. That was my train of thought until I realized that Archangel Michael and I are on the same team. And we're here to do this work together, and that is our contracted experience. And he's multidimensional, so he always has time for everyone.
Right? Infinite and
So,
eternal. They've got all the resources that we do not.
yeah, it's not like here. They can be in millions of places at once with their consciousness. So
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah. Have you had an experience that left a really big impression on you in terms of working with your team, your guides, or angels?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. It's hard to pinpoint one. I just think, because I opened up to them so early, because I was able to very quickly accept all of these things and invite them, because I invite them into my every single day, which they said this is why we can be such a big part of your life, because I wake up and say good morning to them, and then I start chattering about whatever.
Back here.
Yeah, I feel like every day with them is so incredible, because I can ask, and they don't always do everything that I ask, but they are so amazing in just directing my journey. Trust has been a big thing, because I know a lot of people don't trust their guides, or not that they don't trust, but they're just not sure. So I feel like the more that you trust and trust the communication, whether it comes in openly and you know it's your guides, or whether you're just receiving little hits here and there, intuitive hits, the more that you learn how to trust your guides, invite them into your life, the more that your experience will open and expand, the more they will help to guide you to what it is that you want in your life, the right path for you into your mission. Um, it's just been an amazing journey, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this incredible experience.
You said something that was really key for me in that moment. And we won't see this on the edit, but we were talking about how this is a daily practice for you and that immediately you're doing this first thing in the morning. And as a clinical hypnotherapist, the thing that I love about that is you're just coming out of Delta. So you know you're passing through Theta and those other states, and that is the time to make that connection and to do all of
Absolutely.
that self-hypnosis work. But that includes our soul families and our galactic teams. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say one of the ways that what I do every day too is I connect with mine outside. So I go on a walk. When you are doing things like going on a walk or even just like laundry, just things, even the theta state is a great place to connect, but even that alpha state right
Mm-hmm.
before opens up your channel. So when I go
Yeah.
outside, that's just my time to connect. Outdoors, you're away from all the Wi-Fi signals, you're away from all the interference with all the devices. In nature, you have such a stronger connection. So I will go outside. I always ask Archangel Michael to wrap me in a shield, because there's also other things that can come into your channeling, into your connection with your guides. You have to be careful with that. But I ask my team to wrap me in light and then connect me to my guides of the highest love and the highest light. And then I go out and connect with them. And over time, when you practice that, you can really have a back and forth dialogue with
Yeah.
your team and ask them questions, and they can talk to you. And that's how it is for me now. With all the work that I've done and all of the frequencies that I've received, it's an instant connection when I go outside. And it's amazing because I can go outside and say, I mean, I channel inside too, but mostly out. I can say, what do I need to do about this? Or can you give me some guidance? And I'll get this beautiful guidance. They don't always tell me everything. Some things I have to do myself and figure out and heal from on my own. But it's amazing to have that extra layer of support and know that it's there.
And I like that it's accessible for ourselves. We don't, not everything has to be theta. And that's, I think, a misconception for some people is they feel like only the deep work can be done in theta. And it's like, no, I've
No.
had so many mundane times where I'm just doing a little bit of artwork. And so the monkey brain, the logic brain is busy, it's doing something. And then I can just go into a state of flow. And
Yeah.
so much can be done there. And they love to help us with little mundane things, and they're quick to show us the things that we don't see.
Yeah, absolutely. I do. I see that misconception too.
Yeah.
People coming through their hypnosis sessions will say, "Well, I felt like that was me, or I wasn't deep enough." And I'm like, "You don't have to be deep." I feel like our level of consciousness has risen so much that we don't have to get into that
Yeah.
deep theta that you had to long ago. It's
That's
easier
right.
to connect because we're higher in vibration, and our guides can come down and meet us there.
Yeah.
Um, but it also sounds like you, because it is you. You are connected to
Mm-hmm.
your higher guidance all the time. There's never a
Mm-hmm.
disconnection. You're just probably not taking the time to really listen
Yeah.
and to connect and to figure out what's mine and what's not mine. But even then, most of your thoughts are still coming from your higher guidance, whether you recognize that or not. That's why when you come through a session and you go, "Well, I already knew all that."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the guides are going, "Yes, because we've already told you."
Yeah. It's just the level that you knew it on. Did you know it at the conscious level? Not so
Right.
much.
And yet it comes in so much beauty when you're in that theta state and you're connected. It does come through beautifully, where it doesn't sound like something that you would tell yourself. It does actually sound like your higher guidance bringing through that information. So that helps to validate you do know, you do have that
Yeah.
information.
So, when someone would like to work with you and they're interested in branching out and having a session with you, how do you guide them or how do they know what kind of session would be in their best interest?
Yeah, well, so I typically have the one-on-one sessions with me, the Quantum Healing Hypnosis session, which is a combination of the entity release, clearing, the clearing work that we do. Sometimes the past life regression, that all depends on how much clearing work we do. And then connection with your higher self, your guides and angels to bring through the information. But I also have Starship Healing sessions, which we don't always go in the starship. It really has evolved to more of just what needs to come through for the client. But that's done with Sarah. Sarah and I work with our clients to either bring through the information and the healing on their behalf through a surrogate session where they don't have to be there. We do tandem sessions where Sarah is there with the client along for the journey. And that helps for those who feel like I can't connect, I can't see things, I'm not sure if this is real. That's you have somebody there that can completely take over your session and bring through the information.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah has one-on-one sessions that I offer, which is just a Q&A, a back and forth with your guides. It's like sit down and have a conversation with your guides. And then she can also bring through some healing energies. I have the messages from your guides and angel sessions with Emily, where we channel in beautiful messages from your higher galactic guides. And then, of course, I have the portal, so that offers a little bit of everything in smaller pieces.
And so that's really helpful for someone who's maybe newer on the journey or has a
Yeah,
little bit of self doubt, is a little unsure, or
yeah.
maybe even just has a condition that's kind of getting in their way. And if they're feeling really distracted by something, that can be a really wonderful opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It sounds so supportive and lovely.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
enjoy it all.
Any exciting events or anything else of note?
Oh, goodness. No, I think we've covered it all.
Yeah.
I think in this next year, I'll probably be taking a lot of these channeled recordings that I've collected, hundreds and hundreds of hours, and I want to put them in a format where they're more accessible to people.
Yeah.
I think it's important to just be able to share all of this higher knowledge. It's one of the reasons I love sharing the sessions and all of the content because even though that information was brought through for one client, it resonates with so many. And so many people can listen to that session and say, oh my gosh, that's me, that's my issues. And it can
Yeah.
help with their healing just by listening to another person's session. So I'm hoping to be able to take a lot of this content that I've been working with and put it in an accessible format through books
Mm.
and other mediums, other sources that they'll be able to access this beautiful information that comes through.
That's incredibly powerful to
Yeah,
make that so available so that that ripple of healing can go out even further all around the
yeah.
universe. Really beautiful, Heather.
Thank you.
And how do you recommend that people get in touch with you? I will, of course, put all of Heather's information in the show notes for you, loved ones, so you can find it there. But what is your favorite way to be contacted or connected?
So they can visit my website at quantumhealingwithin.com, or you can email me at heather@quantumhealingwithin.com. Either one of those ways are perfect.
Okay. And one more question.
Okay.
Do you have any predictions with all of the channelings and things that have come through? Anything that you'd love to share?
Woo! I
This
hear
will probably
so.
be coming out after the initial part of November, so you're welcome to go there because this will come out
Right.
after, but, or
You
anything
know,
else.
it's interesting because we're recording this a little bit before our
Yeah.
election, and I did just do, I've started trying to do a monthly channeled message just for my
Yeah.
YouTube channel, not my portal. I do a lot in my portal, but um, the angels came through again, and I kind of skirt around it just to see what they'll say. Sometimes they will give us a little more detailed information, and sometimes it's more of a general message. But they did mention that we are about to head into a really big shift in energy. And it's going to be a roller coaster ride, but it's okay because there's a divine plan that is playing out, and it is playing out perfectly right now. Those of us who have the awareness that we hold the higher
Full body
consciousness,
chills.
those of us who are aware of our role here, we're holding the higher consciousness, we're doing the inner work. We're becoming, I don't know if you feel that, a little more stable and grounded. Have you noticed that? Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're balanced in your energy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this past year, there was a lot of work done. I don't know if you went through a lot. Did you go through a lot of healing and maybe things coming up again to
Well,
revisit and heal?
I've been on this journey for a good amount of time now. So
Yeah.
I had a very early spiritual awakening around age 16,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
did
wow.
a lot of work. And then all of my healing and everything really came front and center around 2010.
Yeah.
2010, 2011. And then in 2019, we had a huge disruption, a little more trauma, and then I had to learn a whole bunch of new things. So
Yeah.
this past year actually has just been one of, I think, culmination. It's been one of celebration. I'm
Oh,
really
wonderful.
feeling comfortable with where I'm at, but now it's like, okay, I think I'm ready for a little more challenge. I'm getting a little bored, if we're being honest.
Right. Watch
Yeah.
what you say because they'll be
I
coming saying,
know.
"Here you
I
go."
know. I know.
Here
I
you
can't
go.
stand stagnation. I can't. And it's,
Same.
it's always that how much of this is a flight response that I'm
Yeah.
like diving into versus what's next?
Yeah, I agree. Well, I love it. So I feel like so many are coming into more of a balance. And the angels have
Yeah.
said, just as long as you can stay in your balanced energy and your alignment and not let what's going on around you in the outside world shake you, that's what you're here for. You're here to hold
Mm-hmm.
that frequency because I think a lot are getting ready to
Okay.
go through a shakeup. But that's okay because that's what they need to push them into the next part of their journey, to get them to start seeing beyond the illusion of this reality, just to see
Mm-hmm.
that there's something bigger, to start that remembering process. So
Yeah.
it's okay, whatever's coming up, but I think it is going to get a little spicy out there. So just hang tight.
A little spicy, but don't yield to the fear.
No, not at all. Not at
That's
all. It's
one
all
thing I
perfect.
that's one thing I get a lot in sessions, hearing over and over again that different clients that I'm having are anchors. They're actually grid workers. They're anchoring a
Yes.
certain vibration, and that's where they are. And they always
Yeah.
have the same question: am I going to move? It's like, no, you're
Yes.
right where you're supposed to be.
Yes, I get that question too because they're so worried and
Yeah,
same. You're fine. If you need to move, you will know.
you will
It
be
will come
moved.
up. You will be guided to do it. Your team is not going to leave you behind or leave you stranded in some place. But those who do go through, and I know it's hard to look at that because we've just had some major hurricanes and some big things
Yeah.
that happen. And it's hard to look at that. I even channeled that message in October from the angels. And they will tell you they agreed for whatever, from a soul perspective. The human doesn't always understand it, but from the higher perspective, there was something that they agreed to go through
Yeah.
to help or to assist in this process we're moving through. And it's not always
Yeah.
easy.
Or to be the catalyst. They
Yeah.
might be the catalyst of the next generation of large hearted beings that are going to come in and bring
Yeah.
a wave of healing, but they need that initial spark.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all playing out just as planned.
Anything else you would like to leave with our viewers today before I let you back to all of your many, many wonderful projects?
Oh, it's just been wonderful to connect with you and to share this information. I absolutely love talking about these topics and sharing, and especially for those who
Yeah.
haven't yet stepped into the higher consciousness um, realms. It kind of starts to plant seeds and gets you to thinking, could I be a galactic star being? Could I be something more than what I am? So I love sort of planting that information and then allowing each person to go on their own journey of discovery.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming and for sharing so much and so generously. And thank you for your time. This has been so fun.
Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you having me on today.
All right, Soulful Seekers, I will have everything you need to find Heather in the show notes. Go enjoy her YouTube, check out the portal, and see what this might ignite for your journey. But as always, stay happy, stay healthy, be well, but most of all, stay inspired. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on this transformative episode of Trauma and Transcendence. Your stories matter. I would love to hear them and from you. Connect on our website, healingbeyondtrauma.com, or drop me an email at amanda@healingbeyondtrauma.com. Remember, healing is a journey we take together. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired. This is Amanda, wishing you bright blessings.